Yo, it feel like 95. Sachi on my body. Biggie, jigger, puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby. And I'm wildin' in my wallies. And them valleys, no Pilates. More way get you more way. Nah, that's these Spumante. My crystal ball, I see crystal. I crystal y'all with that. I saw the sign like Ace of Spades. That Ace of Spades get cracked. I'm like, cheers to the money guy. The Willie niggas who buy them bottles. And then they spill these liquors. Yo, salute my dude. I see you, dog. 5 bottles, 1 dick. Why I need 2 bras? I know I'm out of line, but love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. Get off that high ass hussy. This a private party. Been on my dick too long. Your breath on private party. You gon' be nice and naughty. These walls on priceless Audi. This the upper crust. Fuck is up. Over and done. Overdose. Guess we did it again. Sippin' with no remorse. We gon' do it again, and we gon' do it again.
What we doing again?
Yo, welcome back to Visionary Movements LLC presents the podcast Who Cares? It's episode 9. Today is September the 16th, 2017. What's going on, y'all?
What it is.
Hey.
Houston, Texas. Let me start the episode off by saying my name is John Ross, and we're going to do things a little differently today. To my immediate left, we got Toccara Taylor in the building, and across from her, we got the one, the only,
Wow.
Kizzie Farmer in the building.
What's up?
What's going on? Okay. What's going on?
What it is.
Hey.
So, I'm happy, y'all. I gotta say, I'm excited. I got my fiance in the building, ladies and gentlemen. This is my fiance, and
Hello, everybody.
and it was a hassle getting her here today, but she finally agreed to come. So, I'm just grateful she's here.
Oh.
So, what's going on?
I'm glad Kizzie's here. I think Kizzie gonna bring some a different flavor to the set today.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. So, school started for us this past week, and it's finally underway. And you know, my kids are definitely getting used to who Mr. Dyke is. So, it's a blessing to be back in the school system and working with the kids to try to get them to the next level.
Did you have any situations where any kids suffered any losses or anything?
You know, I joked a couple times with them saying that I lost everything and just to get their reaction. But I had a couple of kids on the volleyball team that were displaced. I had a kid who I'm going to actually interview on here. He had to move out to Spring for a little while. He texted me and told me he'd be back sometime next month. So I had a few kids in and out.
Well, that's good. I mean, everybody, at the end of the day, everybody walked away with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Most important thing. So, Kizzie.
What's up?
What's going on with you?
What's good?
You know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, Kizzie's she's not an artist, all right? So, listen, this is your first time on the show, okay? This is your first time on the show, and we want you to just, you know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, let's see. A little bit. So, of course, my name is Kizzie.
Okay. Where you from?
Houston, of course. But I do represent that Acres Homes.
Oh, okay.
Then I also have deep roots in Studewood. So, I'm definitely a hybrid of both. So I was going to represent.
You was going to represent what?
Studewood and Acres Homes.
The north side, huh?
Yes,
Absolutely.
already. North side all day.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay, what else? Let's
Just,
let's do a Q&A. I think that'll be the easiest for me until I kind of get the jitters out.
Okay. Well, okay, so I'll start it off like this. So we did Grussel Diaries. Visionary Movements did Grussel Diaries a few years ago.
Absolutely.
And so Toccara, it's you know, it's wonderful to see the person you write the script after and the person who portrays the script in the same spot. So
Ooh, we had many arguments behind Grussel Diaries. Oh my God.
So-
Now, you were a wonderful actor, so it wasn't necessarily about you. It was about how Grussel Diaries was so parallel to what we were going through. And I was like, yo, how you gonna put our relationship out there like that? You know, like you letting people in on the struggles. But I definitely enjoy watching Grussel Diaries grow. And I have family members till this day, my nieces and nephews, my mom. They are always asking about Grussel Diaries, Sincere Wisdom, and when is the next episode going to come out. So, yeah, shout out to Grussel Diaries. I was one of those people in the background. Yeah.
she actually featured in episode 2, season 1. She was in an audition. She was sitting right next to Mario.
Oh, wow.
And scene.
Short. But my family was so hyped about it. Like, oh my God. I was like, that was me.
I will tell you that there's a lot of people that were actually on Chauncey/your side.
Yes.
In a lot of the matters. So, and even to this day, I have people that will message me and was like, okay, so what's going on with Grussel Diaries?
Yeah.
And did Chauncey ever kick that bum out? And I was,
It might be a little bit that Issa did tapped into some Grussel Diaries, because I was looking at a couple of her shows and
Right?
episodes. I know you guys talk about Insecure, and I was like, okay, Issa, you've been on Grussel Diary,
Right.
trying to get a little scoop or whatever. But yeah,
little secret
it's
kept.
definitely a testament of what some of the things we went through into how we got to this point. So yeah, so Grussel Diaries is great.
So you're getting married in October.
I'm getting married, or we getting married?
You said Q&A, so I just threw that out there. We're
yes,
getting married.
October 21st, I shall be marrying the love of my life.
Oh, look at that.
The guy who has stood by my side through some pretty rough times. Yes, clap it up, clap it up. That definitely deserves a clap. The guy who has shown and exuded love beyond measures. I mean, it's just crazy how I learned other avenues and assets of love through JR. So, yeah, October 21st, we're going to solidify that before God. We're going to solidify it before the people. And then we're going to solidify it amongst ourselves.
yes.
Yeah, man. I have to say, man, at first I wasn't nervous. I thought it was, going to be one of those things. And like I told T. Melly, I told Kizzie this, I was like, Kizzie was one of the ones that told me, hey, if you didn't RSVP to my wedding, you wouldn't be coming.
Hello?
But it's like I told.
If you don't RSVP, you will not be coming.
But hold on, everybody, them plates cost. Everybody can't come. We want to invite the whole world, but everybody won't be able to attend. But I definitely, it comes to my memory. There's a picture on Toccara's Instagram where she's taking this shot. And you remember when you were taking that shot? She's taking that shot, trying to knock
That was more than a shot. Like, I was downing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottles up.
Yes, bottles up. I had a bottle of Di Serono. I should we'll probably show it in the next episode so y'all can see it. But I was okay. I was calm. I was at the house. I got my makeup done. I got my hair done at the facility. And then our wedding planner came in and she said, okay, it's going to be 30 minutes until you walk down the aisle. And I was like, I got this. I'm good. She said, okay, it's going to be 15 minutes. I said, I ain't got this. So I literally got my bottle, Di Serono, and one of my girlfriends brought it. One of my bridesmaids brought it. I don't know. Everybody knows I love Di Serono, so I'm literally like not want to mess up my lipstick and pouring it.
Yeah.
So, but it helped. And so later on, JR was like, he said, yo, you was real calm. I didn't expect you to be that calm coming down the aisle like that. And so I was able to literally hold it together, and I more so had to focus on not being too woozy and not falling. And so that's what kept me. And then, of course, seeing my soon-to-be husband at the end of the aisle, and he was overjoyed and full of emotion.
Aw.
So, but shout out to D. Serrano for helping your girl
Hold you
hold it
down.
together.
No doubt.
Take a little,
Yes.
little no of decent no.
Keep her little joy juice.
Yeah. So, man,
Yeah.
I think I got my emotions in check at the moment, but I can tend to be a little emotional at times.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm pretty strong, so we'll see. But JR better drop a tear.
I think he will.
I need to see him sobbing a little
Oh,
bit.
man. I mean, it depends. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think that'll be the final say of how I feel. I just think that, it's been a long journey. You know what I'm saying? It's been
7 years.
It's been a long journey. We've been through the trenches, man. Nursing school, and just trying to get to the next level, to elevate each other and support each other through it all. And it's just been an amazing journey.
Yeah.
I'm
Love.
excited for y'all.
October
Appreciate
21st,
that.
2017.
At 4 p.m.
On the dot.
So let's get into it, man. You mentioned something about Insecure. Everybody see the season finale?
Yeah. I wasn't ready for it to be over, honestly. I don't want to have to wait until next year for the new season to start. And I've become so attached to the show. So now I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I guess, my next show will be coming on soon. So
What's your next show?
The Walking Dead.
Okay. I'm a big fan of them too.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of them
You
too.
not Kizzie?
No.
I'm a big fan of them too.
Cannot get into it.
Why?
It just wasn't for me. The zombies, it was just like, really though.
Yeah.
You're running. First of all, you looking like you are dragging, but some kind of way within seconds you're up on them. I just couldn't get. I couldn't get it.
I really enjoy this show, man. The underlying meaning of it. Every time you feel secure about what's going on and you feel safe, you got to be on your guard again.
Right.
So
Right.
I really enjoyed it, but I don't know why. I'm one of those type of watchers. I hate to watch when everybody else watches. I like to binge watch because I hate that week in between each episode.
Oh.
So I love to catch the season at the end, but by the time it's it took so long for season 7 to come out that I've sort of forgotten what season 6 was like. So I had to go back to season 6 and figure it out.
You know what? The binge watching thing would work, but with any show, I don't think it would work so good because people talk about the shows if you're on social media, so they give away what's happening, and I'm like,
have
can
a
y'all
friend.
just shut up?
I have a friend, she's crazy. She goes and look up spoilers and she'll come back and be like, spoiler alert, I heard. And I'm just like, come on, Char.
my
Really,
God.
Charlotte? But she's cool about it. Like, she's a fan of The Walking Dead, but Game of Thrones, she was just like, yeah, so I'm a true diehard Game of Throner, and I got a spoiler alert and blah, blah, blah. But,
Oh, jeez.
but Insecure.
She would get unfriended.
Yeah. Click. But Insecure, I seen this dope meme. There's some people out there that are really creative with their memes. And with Issa and what's her boyfriend name? Lawrence. They had them standing face to face, and they said, from the brain, we're insecure, but from the heart, they love one another. And so I was like, you know what? So many times our brain betrays our heart because the heart is feeling one thing, but then we think some stuff, and then before you know it, your actions are totally just contradicting what you actually feel.
Right.
So with Insecure, I have multiple emotions about it. Some days I like it, some days I hate it. It's like, okay, come on, really, Molly? So
Right.
yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna follow next season. I'm gonna check it out because it leaves you wondering. It leaves you thinking about even your relationship, or your experiences.
Right.
That's one thing. Me and a couple of nurses, we started doing some watch parties on Sundays, and we just started talking, and I was like, oh, wait, I did experience that before, before you start thinking about it. So Insecure is definitely going to be one that I check out next season.
So are you Team Lawrence or Team Daniel?
You know what? I was a former Lawrence member.
Until you started seeing Wild 'N Out this season.
They call Lawrence a word, and I don't think I could say it here, but I think that Lawrence... I think that Lawrence definitely has some issues. His insecurity is definitely betraying what he truly feels. And so no, I'm not even a fan of either of them right now.
That's actually where I am.
That's how I feel. I'm not even supporting now one of y'all because y'all both doing some, like, okay, come on, Issa. Your friend Molly offered you a place to stay. Your brother, was like, hey, you can come stay with me. But you knew all along that you was going to go to old boy's house. Come on now. So it's just like, no.
I just think that, with Lawrence, like we said on the show before, I said that Lawrence was in a position and a place in life where that wasn't quite him. Mm-hmm. And so for him to come out in the scene in the apartment, I think it was I have to say, that scene between them two was probably the best scene between them two in the whole season. Mm-hmm. And I think that the emotions were high because they openly admitted to each other what they couldn't do for each other at the time that their relationship was going through. And I think that Lawrence, I really wanted to see him with the Indian girl, but he just, the insecurity. I did because he can't. And it's one of those things where it's like I said I wanted him to get back with Issa during the season, but Issa was doing so much. I mean, sometimes you gotta lick them wounds and let them heal.
Yeah.
You can't be hasty to go out and try and do this and try and do that because eventually she found herself in a lane that she doesn't belong in.
Right.
So okay, so let's go back for a little bit.
Okay, go back.
Let's go back a little bit.
Take us back.
I'm Chauncey. I need to bring Chauncey into the room because I think between Issa, Chauncey, and Kizzie at sometimes there were moments where we saw the potential in our man.
Yeah.
We saw,
You know what? Okay. You know what? That was a good point. Keep going.
Absolutely. We saw the potential in our man. And then, it's like, I know that you can be who I need you to be, but you're just chilling. You just fail to meet your potential. Mm-hmm. And so as women, I know in me particular, I can only use my father, who you know that I love dearly, as an example. We want a provider. Mm-hmm. We want somebody who can say, you know what, hey, I got this. Even in a moment of times where I know we're struggling, I know it's issues, we still need you to lead. We still need you to be that head. Mm-hmm. And then so many times, Issa wanted it, Chauncey wanted it, and Kizzie wanted it. It put you in a headspace of like, okay, like, what it just puts you in a bad headspace. Let's just say that to the point to where, in Issa's case, I don't think she loved I can't remember actors' names.
Who you talking about?
What's the ex-boyfriend or the DJ guy?
Daniel.
I don't think she loved it. I just think that it was something familiar.
See, go ahead.
And I think that, she reverted to, let me just see if it's something out there that can make me happy, temporarily happy, because where I am right now, I am so unhappy, and I'm willing to just go look for happiness elsewhere.
Mm. Mm. And I think, bringing it back to Grussel Diaries, I think for Sincere, it was one of those things where, listen,
whoop whoop. Is that what it was?
Listen, nah. It was one of those things where it's just like, all right, well, we've the first stage of our relationship, we've come up together and we've done it at the same pace. Now that we're established in our relationship, I want to pursue this interest of mine. I want to see how far I can take it now that we don't have kids. Now that, it's just you and I want to go back and I want to see if this love interest that I had that I put on hold before, I can see how far I can get in it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where, if we have to struggle, I'd rather struggle now because there is no, you have to start at some point.
Okay.
And, a lot of times, it's easier to start when you have the money, but then when you have the money, it's almost like, okay, why would I go back to a place or a space in mind where I'm trying to struggle when I'm making the hundreds of thousands of dollars now? Why would I go back and then try to start something from the bottom that's no guarantee, but I got the guarantee right now? So it's, for me, And in that mind space that Sincere was, it was like, okay, well, now that we're going back home, let me see if I can try to do this while it's available. You know, I don't wanna get too far in my career, whatever my degree was, because it wasn't specific what the degree was in Grosso Diaries, but we did know in Grosso Diaries that Sincere and Chauncey had graduated together and had, you know, come up together in the college system. So it's one of those things where it's like you have to start somewhere, and a lot of times, yeah, true indeed, money does help you market and does help you start faster, but then at the same time, that money takes you to a different route too.
Right.
You know, so I mean, with you know, the whole thing with Lawrence and Issa was that, you know, I don't think Daniel was a fling. I think Daniel was something that never happened in the past. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, like you said, when there was, you know, when the ship was rocking there, the ship was rocking. I don't think that, one thing is, I don't think that Issa really supported Lawrence and his dream. I don't really think she supported it. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about like the idea of the app or whatever he was trying to do. I don't think that she ever really was like, okay, well, maybe it could work. I think it was one of those things where it was just like, well, you're doing what you're doing and I support it, but at the same time, you got to support, you got to look out for us as a team. And I don't blame her for that, but at the same time, it's just like, you know what, people can feel in the show, people can feel when the support is just vocal and it's not heartfelt.
Right.
Because, you know, I've seen, and outside of that show, I've seen a lot of people like that sucked in their profession or sucked in their art form, and their significant other is cheering like it's just like they're doing it and it's their dream. And for Issa and Lawrence, I think it was one of those things where it was just like, okay, well, because when they had the argument, you know, if you supported it, right, and even in your anger, you wouldn't come out and say what she said to him when she said that.
Right.
You know,
What part? Look, like
the part when the climate in the dinner got too far for her, and she saw him rubbing on her arm, and then she walked out, and then he stepped out because Molly gave him the eye.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those things where when he came out there and he was like, hey, I didn't know. And I read this article on Google, and they called Lawrence trash. But the term trash really meant trifling, right? And so they said that he was trifling for bringing a girl to the dinner.
Right. Because I feel, personally, you know, I kind of held a lot of stuff in. But when I feel like we broke up, hey, you broke up with my friends.
Exactly.
You should have had an excuse because you had a date. Y'all should have did your own thing. Why you trying to come hang out with my friends?
I wouldn't have done that, by the way. I wouldn't have done that. I can tell you that.
At the end of the day, the root of that issue was the friends, because the friends, what's her name?
You talking about? I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
you're talking
Amanda,
about Derek's wife,
Yeah.
Tiffany, I think.
I think it's Why did she invite him? You knew that Lawrence was with and dating Banker Bay before you know Issa even knew.
Right.
So why is it that you even extended an invitation to him? You're my friend.
Right.
Why are you inviting
they
my
all
ex?
trifling at some point, you know. But yeah, but also, come on, Lawrence, you should have took a little. You know what? I really didn't know y'all before. Seeing that Issa's gonna be there, because I think he knew Issa was gonna be there as well. But you bring somebody with you.
He didn't bring her. She invited herself.
Well, no, she didn't invite her.
He brought her.
Originally, they were supposed to go on a date somewhere, right?
Yeah, they were supposed to go out for drinks.
Okay, and then he was like, well, I got this situation. You can come through with me.
But my ex is gonna be there.
And she was like, so what does that, you know, when we paraphrase, and so what that has to do with me, you know?
She was like,
you want me to come with you?
Yeah, I can come with you.
Yeah.
She was like, I can come with you.
What does that have to do with me? That's what I interpreted as. What does that have to do with me? You know? But
also, that's like one of those things where you're putting your feelers out there to be like, okay, well, let me see if he's going to let me come, because I want to see if him and his ex still have something going on. So the fact that he even said, yeah, I mean, that's cool.
But I think Issa and Lawrence are always playing mind games on one another. Like, they're checking each other's Facebooks. They are, you know, as far as what happened. Issa went to the bank and she portrayed like she was, what's her name, and it got caught. I mean, they're just playing mind games with one another. And then, of course, he probably brought a girl, because he could have been like, well, no, it's still kind of sensitive. I mean, it's just like, where's your judgment? Where's your discernment? Where is, you know what, maybe this can turn ugly. Because let JR
Let JR
bring somebody up to one of my homegirls' birthday and think that it's not going to be okay. Tap, tap. Can I talk to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't have done that if I were him. I wouldn't have done it. I don't think I would have come. I would have come anyway either. I wouldn't have gone. So
But side note, did y'all notice that Tiffany did not show up to go watch whatever the finale was? Spoiler alert.
Due South?
Yeah, Due North.
Due North.
So you remember he was like, yeah, Tiffany was over at East's watching yada, yada, yada. But Tiffany didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
Did y'all peep that?
I didn't.
You're talking about in like the previews when they said
No,
that,
sir.
huh?
Go back and watch your episode.
Okay.
So they all were talking about Due North. The homie that's funny
Okay.
was
You
like,
talking
hey,
about? Okay.
I want to watch this.
Okay.
Due North is the season finale. And then Issa's husband was like, yeah, because Tiffany's over at Issa's house watching it with the girls.
Oh, okay.
So Tiffany calls him and is like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. Or text him or something. And she
I see what you're saying.
Tiffany.
Right.
Why you?
Where you at?
The one that seemingly is happy in her relationship.
Throwing all that
So
shade.
we getting ready for the next season. Okay.
And then Molly.
I know, that was such a letdown. That was such a letdown for me.
Yeah.
I need them to give her some self-esteem. Like,
And
even
she doesn't
as
have it.
astute as she is, even as acclimated as she is, she's making some dumb decisions. You know, it's just like, and then you have the nerve to get mad with your mama because your mama decided to stay with her, with her husband.
Right. And see, and that's the thing. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, I have met people that are like that,
Really?
have these amazing careers at the top of their game, but they have these insecurities.
They so bankrupt.
And I it's like I'll me, I try to give advice, but I'm like, it's just not gonna work.
Right.
I don't know what to do. But with Molly, I mean, she clearly saw that this man was like down for her. I forgot his name.
Chicago Bank. We just gonna name him Chicago Bank.
I call him the Get Out T.
Yeah.
But
I think his name is Clarence in the show. No, don't quote me.
He's really into her. And here you have this single man that's into you. He's available to you, and then you choose a guy who tells you that him and his wife has an open relationship, allegedly. So we'll get into that and see if that's actually the facts next season. Hopefully they reveal that. I can't wait to see if that's really the case.
I just hope that Molly has this moment of, okay, y'all done the hotation. Just, you know what, let me close it up. Let me just be celibate. Let me work on myself. Let me find Christ. Let me find Allah, whomever. Let me find some type of source so that I can be a little bit stronger for myself.
Right.
Because you just throwing yourself, like, you are just out there.
Right.
You know, and I just, it's like, okay, it's a bit excessive. But
you know what? I have found that women who, or even men, that sleep around or become intimate with someone else's mate, that in itself, for that moment, is a confidence booster because they don't have it. And they're so insecure. So for them, it's like, okay, well, I have his attention for the moment and the spouse don't. So for her, she's thriving off of that. Oh, well, he's into me right now. Like, he could be with his wife, but he's over here with me. So that plays into the whole insecurity thing.
And I was a psychology major, but then also I just have these, I don't know what you want to call it, but I always put two and two together, and sometimes it just makes some sense. And my thing is, Molly, what happened in your childhood? What? You know, because I do believe that a lot of times as adults, although we think that we are grown, that childhood is so important to the point to where it can definitely defy and define who you are as an adult. So I'm just like,
Right.
What happened? Was it that you were dark-skinned? Was it that your hair was nappy? Did somebody touch you. You know, it just makes me think, okay, why are you so promiscuous? Why are you so, you know I was taught like, hey, you need to cherish that. You need to hold that to yourself.
Right.
That's something that is God-given and you should protect it. So even though she's a character, even though somebody is writing out what she says and does, in reality, for those women who are promiscuous and who was willing to just give it up, I mean, even with Chicago Bay or Get Out,
Right.
she gave it up.
Right.
She really didn't feel him, even though he's into. But she
still.
felt
She was trying
obligated.
to test drive it.
Right.
Not even test drive it. Sometimes if you're not attracted to somebody, but okay, buy these drinks, let's work, because I'm about to go home. But the fact that you even felt comfortable enough, or you felt the need to go to that level and have sex with him, I mean, it's just like, okay, so Molly, or reality Molly, or real Molly, what happened in your child?
Right.
It makes me want to go back to the beginning to say, okay, let's figure out what's going on.
And there are a lot of women that deal with those types of self-esteem issues, especially with, of course, everybody knows by now we have colorism within our race. So it is really demeaning to, you know, say the things that a lot of our ebony, cocoa, onyx, black sisters and men are faced with. I mean, it hurts. I mean, like, what is the deal?
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
and even from a personal perspective, my mother is actually really, really a beautiful chocolate color. And she had, you know, issues with that when she was younger, and that, you know, we heard about later, where she literally she didn't like her color. She just didn't. But it was the things that other people was saying to her. So that actually, it plays a role into it. So I definitely agree.
Yeah.
So season 3, you ready for?
I'm ready.
You ready
I hope
for?
they don't let me down.
I know. I don't think that they will. I think this is it's gonna stay on this coast and get higher, because Issa's like so out of the box with this. So I think it's gonna get better.
Okay.
I can't wait, y'all.
Could you see it being longer than 30 minutes?
Nah, give me 30 minutes. Give me 30 minutes.
30 minutes is kind of...
Yeah, 30 minutes is enough for me.
Yeah, 30 minutes is good.
Okay.
Now, I do want more episodes.
That would be nice.
I don't want no doggone 8 episodes. Shoot, give me 13, give me 15, or something like that.
With 30 minutes, you can afford to do. You can go back to the old,
about
you know,
extra too.
21 episodes a season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to get into 2 things. First of all, I know both of you watch your sports to a certain extent, right?
Okay, wait. Define you watch sports.
I mean, you know, I don't know if you all are championship watchers, like when the MLB comes on, or the Super Bowl comes on, or the NBA championship comes on, you tune in, or are you season watchers? Okay, do you have a favorite season, and do you watch the season throughout the duration of the season?
Typically, I'm a football girl.
Okay.
I'm not right now.
Okay. Neither am I. Neither a football guy right now.
Right. Okay. Good.
Okay.
So, but I watch throughout the season. Of course, MLB I don't. I just can't. I tried. Come on. But yeah, I can't do baseball. But I'll watch throughout the season. I'm not one of those fanatics where if I miss a game or something, I'm like, it throws my whole day off, which is how my husband is, Grant. But because he feels like it's his fault if his team lost because he didn't watch it.
Oh, wow.
You a Texans fan?
No, he's actually Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Ravens fan.
Yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. I'm a Ravens fan. I wanted to watch the Ravens because they gave us $1 million for the hurricane
Did they?
relief. Yeah.
Okay.
They donated $1 million.
Big ups to the Ravens.
Yeah. But they didn't
enough.
sign cap though.
Right.
So
You just canceled yourself out.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
So I am not watching football.
okay.
I am boycotting.
Okay.
Don't bring me nothing football.
Yeah.
If football slides across my Instagram or social media, I'm not
right
watching
past
it.
It's so hard to though. It's everywhere. It's football season.
I do well
Yeah.
without, watching it. I just, no. But I am a championship watcher. I like to see a good game.
Okay.
I don't have a team. As far as NBA goes, I definitely do not watch until the championships. But even still, it's not good. Like, I grew up with the Rockets back-to-back, Clutch City, you know. Michael Jordan was there. I grew up with some good competitive basketball, and so now it's just like a show.
Okay.
It's all about can we get you to sell out and no. So I like a good game. I'll put it that way.
Do you agree that Carmelo Anthony is the 65th best player in the NBA right now?
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes.
They put Lonzo Ball before him.
Shout out to Lonzo Ball.
So okay. So what makes Carmelo Anthony the 65th best player in the league?
How long has he been in the league?
13 years.
What have his counterparts done?
It depends on who you're talking about.
I'm talking about all the major counterparts. Let's start out with Dwayne Wade. How many championships?
He's got 3.
Okay. LeBron James.
He's got 3. Who else was drafted that year?
Yeah.
Kirk Heinrich was drafted that year. Dante Jones was drafted that year. Okay.
Is Dante Jones a mega star?
No, he's trash.
All right, let's go to the next person.
He's trash.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
Who else was in that draft league?
It's a few. Chris Bosh was in that draft.
How many rings does he have?
2.
All right.
So he's the 65th best player in the league right now because
unfortunately, it might be a little harsh, but it's kind of like, you're almost etching toward the end of your career.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is, or the one thing that you have to do, or is get a ring.
Okay.
You have yet to get a ring.
So
you have yet to have yet to be able to convince a supporting act to come and help you get one.
Okay.
You have failed to build players to the potential that they need to play at so that you can get a ring. Now, you are an Olympian. We will never take your gold medals from you as an Olympian. However, in the game of basketball, you have not been able to get the ultimate goal.
Okay.
And you are a great football player.
Basketball player.
Sorry. That we thought. So I used to be in love with Carmelo Anthony. He was probably one of my favorites, especially when he was at Syracuse and he won that championship. And I was like, oh my God. But somewhere down the line, you got to produce. That's the biggest thing. You are a mega star. They pay you the big bills. You are the headliner. Where's your ring?
I disagree on that notion because back in the league when Charles Barkley was playing in the early 90s when he got drafted and stuff like that, even though he did come up short to the Houston Rockets in the Western Conference Finals those times, I don't think that even in his downslide, when he got to around that 13th year, 14th year, I don't think that they would have ever listed him outside of the top 25.
So you think so?
And he didn't have any rings either.
So where is he? Where would you place him?
Who? Carmelo? I would place him top 20.
So, okay, go. I'll let you speak.
Well, I didn't agree with him being listed as top 65 because at this moment, because I can only judge him by his record, like right now, I think his best years are behind him.
Okay.
I don't think that. I think that that was a fair assessment to put Lonzo Ball above him. Carmelo is, for some reason, and when he plays, it just seems like he's very distracted. It does not seem like his head is in the game. I've seen him do better, but here lately, and it could have something to do with his situation with Lala and all that stuff, that men just keep it together. Okay, because it distracts you more than it distracts us. Because we can just go shop and be fine. Yes, regardless. But sidebar, I just don't see him. He's just I can't even see him even being ranked right now.
So I would take it on this line as far as I think that it is just, and on the flip side, it's like prove me wrong.
So my thing is this, okay. They put Lonzo Ball, who had a phenomenal summer league season at 64, 63. But then they put people like Drew Holiday, who isn't a superstar. Mike could be the leader of his team before him. They put somebody like DeAndre Jordan, who doesn't have a championship either and has been an all-star a few times. I wouldn't call DeAndre Jordan a superstar, but they put him before him. They put Blake Griffin before him.
Oh.
They put, who else they put? They just put a few. They put a guy that they traded, the Italian guy they traded from New York to the Nuggets for Melo before him.
Man, you just need to quit.
They put a lot of people, and my thing is,
it's time for you. Like, I think a little bit of it is also, you got to look at it. It is about a market. Like, we need you to sell. We need you to sell out. Is it the Madison Square Garden? Mm-hmm. We need you to sell jerseys. We need you to sell tennis shoes. We need you to sell whatever it is. We need you to sell air.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony is not doing that. And so in the end of the day, yeah, we're going to disrespect you because we have invested so much money into you. And so now it's like, without telling you to quit, you're about to get disrespected. Mm-hmm. And so for me, as a person of myself, who is one that believes that I'm a leader, believes that I can make people better, work, even at my job, work with a team, like, it is for me to say, okay, well, let me show them that I can do this.
Right.
I think a lot of it has to do with the system too. I think the system in New York, as a New York Knicks fan, is outdated. I think it's outdated. I think that
you wanted to go there though.
Yeah, I mean, to get out of Denver, but I think that but the thing is, when he got to New York, he wasn't on a downslide. There was a point in time in New York where when he got to New York, he became the scoring champion. J.R. Smith was the sixth man of the year at the time. They also made the playoffs. They lost to the Pacers.
Are you going to really mention the playoffs? How many times have they been in the playoffs?
Since he got there?
With him on the team.
He's been there. I think he's been there, what? I think he's been there, 7 years now? I think they've been there three of the seven. 3 of the 7.
I don't think it's that high.
When Jason Kidd retired that year, he was there. The year before, he was there.
Okay, so Carmelo, if you're saying that it's the New York Knicks, didn't you get an out? Like, wasn't you a free agent for you to be able to?
No, he wasn't a free agent because he was locked in that contract.
But something was available for him to be able to move and go elsewhere. My thing is this.
The thing is, they had to buy his contract out.
Prove that you're not 65.
64, 65.
Prove it. That's my biggest thing.
You know what? And I agree with that, because mostly all the other players that you mentioned have something going on. They have some type of endorsement that also gets their face out there outside of the NBA. So Blake Griffin had the commercials.
With Kia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that also is, it draws people in. Okay, well, I see him other places. He's doing things that, for whatever reason, media. It brings people in. So he really doesn't have a niche besides the fact that his wife was on reality TV. Mm-hmm.
And now she's showing her breast on Stars.
Yeah.
Come on now.
She's an actress.
Okay,
she's an actress.
I'm just saying,
if you were an actress and they told you to show your breasts, would you show them?
No. I have to remember that I can't say certain words, so don't get me caught up to the point where something might slip out. But absolutely no. Didn't you just tell me that Daenerys had put in her contract that she won't ever get naked again?
Oh, that's Daenerys, and that's Daenerys. No. That's the contract that's the contract that she negotiated. But
now, hold on, you have opened up an entire new.
Here we go.
Argument or discussion.
Come on.
There is no separation between acting and reality.
There is a huge separation between it.
I need people to understand that.
There is a huge separation between it.
There is not a separation between it. At the end of the day, if I was a mother.
Oh, Lord.
I mean,
okay, go ahead.
I'm just giving my opinion, right? That's why you asked me on, right?
Go ahead.
If I was a mother, it's no way I might want to say, okay, who's the director? Hey, we can imply that we're going to have sex, or we can imply that we did this, and you fade the camera out to another cut. At least that's how, but as far as me having to show my breast, no, I have kids. I have standards. I have morals. What else? It goes back to the argument that I've had with a couple of people, a discussion with Molly. Like Molly proclaims to be this this Christian who's a virgin, but women are going to see Molly who's having sex with all these men, who's messing with a married man. And then it was crazy because I got a text from a homegirl, and she was like, guys, I just got approached with a Molly situation. And she was talking about a married man trying to holler. She was not talking about, oh, I am a virgin and I'm going to let my light so shine. So I think that women, well, not even necessarily women, I think that people need to be conscious of the roles that you accept. Now, my question to you is, will you accept a gay role?
No.
Okay, why?
I'm not gay.
There's no separation between who you are.
The thing is this, I don't want to be. See, I don't want to be.
You just confirm what I'm saying.
I don't want to be seen as that forever.
You confirm.
I don't want to be seen as that forever. But I want to be seen as that forever.
Is he not validating what I'm saying?
At this point, you are validating.
Thank you.
My thing is, but why it gotta be a gay role? Why can't I be like a stripper or something in a film? Why you gotta pick the extreme?
Because gay.
Why you gotta pick the extreme?
That's coming out right now.
I mean, hey, that's the way.
Why you gotta pick the extreme?
That's the way of the world. Sex sells. How to get away with murder? One time I was watching it and I was like, oh,
that was literally like too much though. Seriously, it was like literally too much. But partially, I disagree with you. And yes, with acting, there is roles that the casting director will see you in because there's something about you that ties you to that role. Okay. And so there was the play that JR and I were in, and so I was telling him later on, years later, well, recently, that was actually what I was going through at the time. It was very similar, but I wasn't the antagonist. So with that being said, I feel like it's up to the audience to decipher art from real life.
Yeah.
So,
because prime example with that, we went on to do the film. She's done Grosso Diaries. We've kissed on screen, but I've never tried to kiss her in real life, and I've never tried to be inappropriate with her in real life.
What you guys are portraying is a couple. You guys are portraying what reality couples go through. So I can acknowledge that. I can say that. But think about this. It was just on the tip of my tongue. The 5 girls, Set It Off.
Yeah. Set It Off.
No, let's not do Set It Off. Let's go with Color Purple. Everybody hates the guy that was in Color Purple, Danny Glover, for how he mistreated Whoopi Goldberg. There's just a list. Everybody hates.
So you're saying that people are associated with their characters outside.
So my thing is this. At some point, that artist should be able to say, you know what, this don't align with the morals that I have.
Okay.
And then
I mean, for me,
can we adjust this? You can go to your suit, and I mean, I'm not an actor. An actress. I'm not in the film world, but I'm sure you can negotiate and say, you know what, this part right here. That's why they let you do a read,
and that's why they're gonna be like, okay, well, that's okay. We gonna pick somebody.
That's fine.
Because
that's fine.
The story has to be told. Like it has to be told. Whether you're going to be a part of it or not is how they're going to look at it. So yes, we hate it. Danny Glover, I still have my issue. I'm just now getting over my issues with Lawrence Fishburne, and that was a biopic.
He was a good one.
Right.
Lawrence Fishburne, the guy from Soul Food who cheated on the auntie with the cousin.
Yes.
Like
Miles.
And then he backdoored to Wait and Exhale and cheated on Bernadine.
Yeah.
Like,
so we associate those people with their roles, but the true testament of how talented you are is with your next project. If it is complete opposite from that, can you draw your audience away from that? Michael Ealy was able to do it when he did for Color Girls.
Michael Ealy is easy on the eyes.
Go ahead.
But he made mention, he actually poked fun of his role before when he was in Why Did I Get Married? Or
he wasn't in
How to Think Like a Man. With Taraji. Yes. So he was like, she said, well, I wanted to go to the movies or something and see for Color Girls. He said, nah, after hearing bad reviews, some crazy guy threw some kids out the window. Yeah. So if you can pull your character away from that and be in something completely different and nobody's thinking about what you did in the last movie, then yes. Okay. But there are people, though, actresses and actors that get typecast into certain roles. For example, Banker Bay, that is on Insecure. I've heard that she's done other little, small things.
I heard that too.
And every single one of them,
She's a banker.
she's naked.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she exposes something.
So my thing is, I'm sorry I keep touching this table. I know that I was instructed
You getting into it, that's cool.
not to touch the table. So my thing is this, just as an artist, I guess you still have to be able to say, you know what, I ain't gonna do that.
Let me ask you a question. If you you didn't tell everybody that you were a nurse. She's a registered nurse. She's a nurse.
Big
All right
ups to
now.
all the nurses
She's
out
she's a
there.
nurse. What didn't y'all what? What did y'all do recently?
Oh.
Yeah, you just the hurricane and stuff like that. You were y'all were doing
I
that.
went and stayed at the hospital. Well, not necessarily during the Hurricane Harvey aftermath. So it was really bad Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Nobody could get in the hospital. Nobody can get out of the hospital. So I have a good friend. She was just like, guys, I feel so bad for these people. Let's go and relieve them. And I was like, bet. About to get this bread. So I was like, so I stayed for 3 days overnight. It was a great experience just to get paid to sleep on the clock, but also just, have limited resources, but also see how we all binded together to take care of one another, but also our patients. So big up to any nurse that had to stay over in the hospital during Hurricane Harvey.
A+.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you had a question for me?
I was saying, okay, so suppose that you were looking for a job to be a nurse, and you wanted to, let's say you wanted to work with kids, right?
Okay.
You needed a job, you wanted to work with kids, or maybe you had a job, right, and you were working with kids, and then they just automatically switched you and took you to like something else. Would you do it as a nurse?
Absolutely.
Okay, so why is there an issue with an actress who has to portray herself in that role in that moment? Why is there an issue with her, taking off her clothes or something like that?
So one thing, I'm sorry. Let me put this disclaimer. My faith definitely manages and kind of dictates a lot of what I do. And one thing I've told myself is my hands are to heal and not harm. So if there's ever a case where they've moved me from one specialty to another, I can pretty much take care of anybody from a baby to geriatrics. However, it comes where there may be a particular device that this patient is on, or there may be a particular procedure that they need that I may not be familiar with. I know how to say, hey, this isn't for me. I know how to look at this and say, you know what, no, I can't take this assignment, because it not only puts the patient in jeopardy, it puts me in jeopardy. So I think that in any profession, whether you're acting, whether you're nursing, you can look at it and say, you know what, I'm a pass. Job opportunities. They might be asking you to do some stuff that's outside of your scope of practice. Right. And so therefore for me, it is for me to say, you know what, Kizzie, be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself. You don't have the skill sets to do this. So, no, pass it off onto somebody else who's willing to make that risk or who does have that ability. So, that's just where I fall. And I sometimes I just think that we live in a world to where we just want to do anything. And in the name of acting, I can show my boobs on film. But I'm not thinking about my son, who may have to deal with this with his friends, or I'm not thinking about my current relationship is struggling. Like me and my husband are potentially about to get a divorce, but I'm sitting all for a check when we already make millions.
Well, see, okay, so I once heard, I think it was Will Smith, that said all actors are unemployed until the next project. So you have to keep working. And so especially when I interviewed Loretta Devine, she was like, she said so many people always asking her, why do you're working all the time. Are you ever faced with any roles that, you don't agree with? And she said, yes, I do. But I also have to compromise. There are some roles that I've done that I'm just not 100% okay with, but she said she'll make it work. But she has to work. So
which goes back to, can we imply that we're about to get big? Like, maybe you can unbutton my bra.
The era of
You know what I'm saying?
implying is over.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yo,
like-
I want you to know, as an actor, they're not having sex. Those type of films are porns. They're not having sex. If you cannot see it, I automatically know it's fake.
I have read that there are certain actors who have actually participated in sex to make it so real.
But not every actor or actress does that, though.
But you're missing the point.
I get your point.
It's not necessarily that you're actually doing it. It is the message that you're sending.
I get your
That's it.
point.
I mean, hey.
Listen, baby.
I disagree.
Listen, baby, you know, Lala's son and whoever else's parents who are in the limelight and have to do these things on camera, they have to understand, listen, I don't do this, how we gonna eat?
Yo.
Come on. See, now I do want to decipher, because there are situations where you know, of course, you have children, and so they will see this. I do not think it is that bad for you to explain to your kids this is an art form and nothing is really happening. There's really, we shouldn't, this is just a Toccara thing, bodies shouldn't be associated with as a sexual object. It just shouldn't. Like, women have breasts, period. They're there to feed the babies. That's what it is. Shouldn't be looked at, oh my God, there's breasts. It's breasts. Get over it. However, now you have situations like Corinne Steffens, who writes a whole book in explicit content about what she has done and the acts that she's done, and she dedicates it to her son. That is a problem. You have gone all the way in. And this is not acting. This is your real life. And while you dropped me off with somebody, this is what you were doing.
Right.
So that, to me...
that's a whole nother lane. But I just, you know, hey, like, I'm all about keeping children innocent. Unnecessary,
no doubt,
backlash, and because my job, and this is once I have a child, my job is to protect you. And sometimes you being exposed to something a little too early, granted, I do understand that, hey, eventually we will have to have this talk, but I don't want it to be facilitated because your homeboy done came and been like, look, these your mama titties. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just me, but I'm glad that you guys can understand both sides.
Oh, I understand both sides.
And I know I'm a little stubborn and a little bullheaded, but you know, sometimes it's art. Let's just leave it at that.
So, songs of the week.
Go with Kizzie.
Oh wait, no, I'm not ready. Let me go back to mine. I need to.
I'll start it off for a change. I'm gonna go with my hip hop song of the week. I'm gonna go with it being Virgo season. All right, and my birthday being on Monday.
All right.
I'm gonna go with a fellow Virgo's song, Nas, Virgo featuring Ludacris and Dougie Fresh, and for my R&B feature, I'm gonna go with it's a kid I used to work at the bus barn with back in the day. His name is Brandon Moore, and he wrote a song dedicated to the survival of Houston and what we were going through with the turmoil of the hurricane, called Houston Strong. So I'm going to post it on my Facebook page for everybody to see.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Okay, so I'm ready. Mine is going to be my R&B song. I've listened to this guy so much to where I said I'm not going to listen to him anymore. But Daniel Caesar, Best Part, featuring, I don't know if you call her, or if it's H-E-R, because it's like H.E.
It's an acronym, H-E-R.
Yeah, so the chick doesn't show her face. But that song just kind of like...
What's the name of the song?
Best Part.
Best Part.
Yeah, check it out.
And
then I'm gonna be super duper ratchet right now.
Here we go.
I am feeling the Cardi B, Bodak Yellow. Like, I was just like, okay, Cardi, I don't know who you sound like, but you is really trying to give me a little Kim right by now. So
I might put your big. I might put your boo.
she's coming hard. She's serious about it. Like, what's up? So last night I heard Cardi B's, is it Bodak Yellow?
Bodak Yellow.
And I was just like, okay, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. I was like, oh. And then it meant beat. So yeah, so we're gonna go with Cardi Cardi B.
Let me just predict the future because I've been seeing her hang around Lil Kim, and I'm a Lil Kim fan. To a certain
So
degree.
am I.
So I think that they're going to collaborate on something one day. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, my songs. For those that don't know, I'm a huge Timbaland fan, and from time to time, I'll listen to some throwback Timbaland. So I was listening to some Up Jumps the Boogie. So that is my
Super duper fly that area. That
Yes,
was good. Missy Elliott. Oh man, that was
they took
Timbaland and
music
Magoo
to a whole different level.
Yes.
And so I feel like Timbaland, I don't even know what happened to the Beats thing that the competition that him and Swiss Beats was supposed to be having.
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know who won it. They had it, but I don't know who won it.
I'm sure Timbaland won it.
I don't know. Swiss Beats got a tough catalog.
All his stuff sounded like that.
It does. It does. How you can't compete with Timbaland. This man made a beat off of Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Spider-Man. Come on, man.
Stuff.
And keeping it in that era, we have for the R&B joint "Beat Me 911" by Missy.
Okay.
That was my song, and from time to time I'll play that, whatever, and I go to the restroom and thinking I'm singing, and we in the shower, and I'm not gonna torture y'all.
Yeah.
You heard the singing on the set. Listen, if Jayla watching this, everybody was on the set. I cannot sing. I can act like I can sing.
Yeah.
But I don't sound good when I do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So T, you want to say something? Okay.
No.
Well, you got your chance every time you come up, man. But, Houston, Texas, man, like we always do at this time, it's been a pleasure. My name is John Ross, and to my immediate left, we got Toccara Taylor in the building. Across from her, we got Kizzie Farmer in the building.
Yeah.
Until we see y'all again, until y'all check us out, man. Go ahead.
What's the name of the song that you play, that you about to play, like right now? I've had so many people ask me the name of the song, the artist, all of that.
Okay, the name of the song is called Overtoast. It's by the Nice Guys, and the MC is Easy Eve Saint. Last week I did the About a Dollar track. Last episode, I did the About a Dollar track, but his name is Easy Eve Saint. He's got a new project out now, Don't Panic. So y'all can check him out, man. But like we always do at this time, man, thank y'all for listening. Y'all be careful, and see y'all next episode.
Yeah. Hey.
Yo, it feel like 95. Sachi on my body. Biggie, jigger, puffy. All that ballin' is a hobby. And I'm wildin' in my wallies. And them valleys, no Pilates. More way get you more wet. Nah, that's these Spumante. My crystal ball, I see crystal. I crystal y'all with that. I saw the sign like Ace of Spades. That Ace of Spades get cracked me like cheers to the money guys. The Willie niggas who buy them bottles. And then they spill these liquors. Yo, salute my dude. I see you, dawg. 5 bottles, 1 dick. Why I need 2 bras? I know I'm out of line, but love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. Get off that high ass hussy. This a private party. Been on my dick too long. Your breath on private party. You gon' be nice or naughty. These walls on priceless Audi. This the upper crust. Fuck is up. Over and done. Overdose. Guess we did it again. Sipping with no remorse. We gon' do